Press Start Podcast.
And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host Vic, aka Mr. Never Chill, and this is episode number 103. And this week I'm joined by my co-host Scobie1.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit better this week.
Yeah, hopefully. And of course we also welcome back Lunatic Oblivion.
Hey guys, welcome back.
So Roger, we're just going to kick it off here with the good news. If you wanted to announce why you missed last week's episode.
Yeah, Jordan had to be induced because our son was born a week and a half early. So our son Carl was born on the 4th of this month, which was nice. So we've been off just dealing with that, being at home.
So how's it feel being a dad? It's been about a week, a little over a week, I guess. How's it been so far?
No, nothing really crazy changes other than, having to wake up every 3 hours at night to just deal with feeding and diaper changes. But, he just eats, sleeps, and poops.
Yeah.
Shame. I mean,
man, that sounds just like me.
That's pretty much like Dad.
That is 100% relatable. Have you sat him down on the porch and hit him with a hay champ yet? Sorry about your ball game.
Oh shit! But no, that's awesome, man. I'm glad everything's been going great. You guys were in and out, like it was like induced. Took a couple days for that to happen, but as soon as he was born, you guys were taking him home. Like what, next day?
Yeah, Jordan pretty much just jumped out of bed after giving birth and was like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm good." And the nurse is like,
"Whoa, there,
stay in the bed, please."
From what I've seen from the news articles, is the cops are still looking for them. For just getting out of there is like the dine and dash of a hospital bill. She just got up and left.
Nah, that's awesome. Scott, anything new with you in the past week?
Not too much, honestly. Just been a pretty normal week. Just kind of keeping at it, playing a few games here and there, doing some housework and hitting the gym, and then pooping, eating, and sleeping. Honestly,
the trifecta, my friend.
The only trifecta.
Yeah, it sounds like that's our podcast title this week already. But in regards to me though, as you can see, I'm rocking my medal here since my family reunion was yesterday, and me and my dad took home first place in the cornhole tournament. So super excited with that. It's my second one I've ever won at my reunion. Came in second place quite a few times, but it felt good to be a winner again there. But
it was still really coincidental that the only other like 4 teams that could have actually challenged you all got sick for some reason. So
explosive diarrhea.
Yeah,
they
all
just
at the same
couldn't even
time.
play. Yeah,
yeah, that's a little weird. They just couldn't make it.
Right.
So yeah.
But overall, it was a great time yesterday. It always is. Drank a lot of beer. Just today, I'm not really feeling it great. That's why my voice may sound a little weird. Throat was on fire, congested. I'm like, fuck. Like, that shit sucks. Like, I felt it building up over the past couple of days, and today it just said, wham!
My man was screaming at cornhole.
Yeah, pretty much. But enough of what we've been doing over the past week. Let's actually talk about what we've been playing over the last week. Because, Roger, I don't know how you find a way to do it, but you always have a long-ass list here. So, where do you even want to begin? You got Pikmin 3? Let's start with that one. Because you're already on Pikmin 3. Yeah. You beat 1 and 2, I guess.
Yeah, well, I never beat Pikmin 1 and 2. I just decided, like, Jordan played Pikmin herself. I meant to put 4 on the list, not 3, but Pikmin 3, Jordan actually ended up playing, and I just never got into Pikmin, but I picked up 4 because I was like, this is going to be a way to play. So, like, while she was in the hospital, I actually took the Switch, and we just played while we waited for the induction.
Yeah.
We just played Pikmin 4 for hours, and that's how we spent it. A bunch of the nurses and doctors are like, what you guys playing? And I'm like, Pikmin? What's that?
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. You're not even going to care.
Yeah, that was always
hands him a Press Start podcast business card. Be like, we talk about it Sundays.
Yeah, talk about it on Sunday. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember when Lauren was in the hospital for that first month, I had the whole TV and Xbox set up in there, and all the nurses and doctors were like, what are you playing? Like, just different games all the time. Star Wars.
Just
Genesis,
whatever's available.
Whatever I want to play.
Playing the fucking patience game.
Yeah. Just waiting, But no, yeah, that's awesome. And then Scott, you dove into some Baldur's Gate 3. How's that been going for you?
Man, it's still good. I've been taking my good old time. Some of that game when it's hard. But it has been just fun through and through. The 5e mechanics it's been using still 100% just amazing. Some of the shit you can do is just outlandish. I've been seeing a bunch of articles of people just doing some crazy shit. I haven't done anything myself yet, but I've
Yeah.
had some pretty fun experiences so far with that game.
It's honestly a really fun game. I'm like,
It's
we're in the renaissance of CRPGs. It really is, you know.
100%, and I can't wait to see how it continues out through the year. We have some discussions later about some things with Baldur's Gate, and I mean, hopefully it just stays on that hype train.
Yeah, honestly, it's doing really well. Baldur's Gate 3 to me is super fun. I think it's awesome. A little upset to see that the game only caps out at level 12. The creators like, high level D&D spells just ruin things. And I was like, yeah, they do. That's why they're fun.
Right.
There's something about nuking the entire dungeon that really just takes the planning out of it.
Yep.
Oh, that's dope to hear.
But man, it's been fantastic. It's so
It's
fun.
it's one of those things. It's where you're like, I walk into the room, I cast fireball. You don't talk? Nope, I cast fireball. But your friends are there. I said I cast fireball.
You walk into the room. I have dark vision. The room is filled with candles.
Oh, that's
Oh my
great.
god! It's been outstanding so far. I can't wait to keep going. Just some of the story options you get. I mean, it is just the possibilities truly are almost endless, except for level 13. That you can't get that one.
Not yet, at least until they decide to move on there. But I just want to talk about a couple of games that I played that I picked up on the Switch was recently, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But Pokemon Stadium 2 and Pokemon Trading Card Game, the video game, the OGs from back in the day were brought over to the Nintendo Switch Online. So that was awesome. I played into those. I was like, man, these are like legit childhood memories. Like I played the shit out of the TCG video game on the Game Boy Color, and then
I beat
Stadium
the shit
2
out
was
of it,
great.
man.
Like those games were just classics, dude. And I was just like,
Between Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, the TCG games on the early handheld consoles were fire.
yeah,
All right, like all the Yu-Gi-Oh games were awesome, and the Pokemon games so much fun.
yeah. So
The Yu-Gi-Oh TCG games were just phenomenal.
Hmm.
Man, Forbidden Memories, what Duels of the Roses.
yeah,
Shit
Yep.
was just so good.
yeah. I mean, even like the ability to be able to like swipe the old Pokemon cards into the games back in the day, that was dope. Um, I mean, Pokemon
I
Stadium 2 allowed you to put the cartridge in the back of your N64 controller and load up your party from the game into the game. And I was like,
yeah,
that shit was dope.
Yep.
like Nintendo back in the day used to be like the renaissance of cross-platform experience. Now, where is this kind of experience anymore? It just doesn't feel like we can get these same sort of awesome feelings anymore.
Right, the closest we got is like I guess the Pokemon Home or whatever, where like you can play Pokemon in one game, put them in the home, and then pull them in from another. Like that's cool, but
Yep.
that's probably the closest that we're going to get to what we had back then, for
Hmm.
sure. But Roger, you picked up another Game Boy game, Fire Emblem. This was on. Was this?
Yeah.
Did you play this via Nintendo Switch Online?
Yeah, I played it with the emulator and I was playing ended up playing, Fire Emblem on the GBA and I was like, this is awesome. Like I missed this. I didn't know what Fire Emblem was as a kid, so like I never got this, but like playing it, I was like, this is honestly super fun.
Well, for anybody here that knew what Fire Emblem was when they were a kid, congratulations on being Japanese.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, honestly, congratulations on
But
being
like
Japanese and finding yourself here.
yeah, but the thing is like and it's not even like there were these games were in the US, but they were so rare. You
Hmm.
couldn't find them.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I actually don't remember ever hearing about Fire Emblem as until like probably within the last 5-10 years, honestly.
Hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, that's definitely crazy. But Roger, I want to talk about another game here on your list. You got Pathfinder Kingmaker. How's that been playing for you? What are you playing this on? Is this a PC game for you?
Yeah, so this is one of those CRPGs that I'm talking about. We have the Pathfinder series. There's a bunch of them that were released. We've got Kingmaker, and then we've got the Wrath of the Righteous, and then now we're looking at Baldur's Gate 3. There are so many CRPGs out there right now, and this was one of them. And honestly, it's awesome. Like it just blends really well a whole action adventure path from from Pathfinder, a whole a whole adventure path, and they did it so well is the best part. Like I'm surprised at how well it was put together.
That's dope. So, Scott, continuing along the lines, there's a lot of Pokemon here on our list today. You were playing the
There is.
Pokemon Go still. And I know this is probably like a one-off thing throughout the week. Like, no, I'm at a Pokestop spin. All right,
No, I've been hitting my 7-day streak since I started. It's I mean, what today was community day starring Froakie. So that was a fun one. Got yelled at by the girlfriend in the Starbucks line for not braking fast enough because of other reasons. Obviously, not Pokemon Go. That would be childish, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's
Who will
crazy.
do that?
Yeah, that's crazy. No, but no, dude, I've still been playing. It's still fun. I mean, I like going around doing some raids, doing stuff like that. I haven't gotten too far deep into it. I think I'm just about to hit level 37, and when I got back into it, I was like level 35 and hit 36.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
then yeah, because like when I stopped, I think like 36 or something like that was the highest you could go. Now it's like 40 something, I think. I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, no, it's a good time killer and battery killer if you hate your phone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Definitely play that.
Yeah, I
But
hear
no,
you.
I've just been spending my time today catching some Froakies trying to win my showcase at the nearest Pokestop.
Hey, there you go. Obviously, we're not done talking about Pokemon. We got a Pokemon section of our podcast later on, so stay tuned for that. But Roger, you were playing some Overwatch 2, and I see here you were playing this before the new update came out. How was that experience, and are you looking forward to the new season?
Honestly, I quit and I'm not looking back. I think Overwatch 2 is done for me. I'm done.
Oh yeah, they're completely dead, huh?
Yeah.
Dead game.
I honestly
Even
to me,
after
I their business practice is really just I can't stick with them anymore.
even after you saw all the marketing that your money paid for,
Yeah, exactly. Like,
are you
you
sure?
know, the battle passes, they're already taking items out of the game that they put into battle passes and they're just gone. They've removed items people paid for and they're just removing them from the game. Like they're stealthily shadow removing items. It's crazy.
Well, according to Nightmare Gore, the game probably be better if you had a good tank.
Yeah,
I
that is
wasn't
another big issue.
I
The community
wasn't
is toxic.
available. I wasn't available to play Reinhardt. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Honestly, the game it really is an upsetting game just how poorly they've handled this. And honestly, it's Blizzard. I should have known what to expect before it happened, but I just didn't. I just sat here and I was like, it's going to be fine. What are they going to do? They're not going to ruin this game.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, watching like as an objective viewer, like I used to play the first Overwatch, and then just kind of like fell out of it. I'm really happy I fell out of it when I did because I still have
Mhm.
like some pretty decent memories of playing the game. But man, did they fucking Game of Thrones this really hard? Like it's just gonna. It just seems like it's fading. It's done. Like
Yeah,
it's sad. It's upsetting.
Yeah.
I remember being super hyped for this game
same.
when it first dropped. A friend of mine, like we tried building me a PC. This was way back to build me a PC so I could play only Overwatch because that was all we wanted to play. And then now just years later, it's just man, they fucked y'all. They fucked everybody.
They sure did. Um,
Jon Snow didn't end up being the king. So
yeah,
stupid.
it's so stupid. So I just want to talk about a couple of other games I've been playing. Mass Effect 3 is my big because I'm trying to break it up now. I have a big game stream. It's going to take me forever to beat, and I'm gonna have smaller games to play. But currently, I'm playing Mass Effect 3, and that game's been fucking phenomenal. I know it's the ending of Mass Effect 3 that I have to be worried about because people are like, the
Yeah.
ending of Mass Effect 3, it just what the fuck? Like it fucked the whole game up. The game was good until then, and I got it. That's why Mass Effect 2 is the greatest one out of the trilogy. But so far, man, I really enjoy it. It's just still just you could tell it's a game from the past. Like the whole holding
Yeah.
A to sprint, and then like the whole Gears of War style. Like to me to hop over the ledge, I have to run over to it, hide behind cover, press the button, and I climb it up over. Like the whole mantling shit was kind of just what the fuck, man. Like gaming,
Annoying as
yes,
shit.
gaming
Yeah.
has come such a long way. a long way for sure. But I've been enjoying the story. Like the story of Mass Effect in general was just like fuck. And then like all of like different like small events that keep happening. They're like, yeah, well you did this time, and I'm like, yo, I did that in Mass Effect 1. Like what the hell?
Yeah,
Like it's tying the entire
it
trilogy together. I'm like, wow, this shit is
it
dope.
was so good. The storytelling from that generation of games. Chef kiss.
Yeah, like why
There
can't we
was
get that again? We need that again.
it's honestly it's almost like an art lost at this point. It's
Hmm.
not about the. I mean, for a lot of people, it's still about the story. But I mean, you'll see the ones that are doing the most aren't about story at all anymore. It's all about battle passes, rankings. That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's how
but
fast
yeah,
can we gain more money,
yeah.
generate more money, and that's the
Our
problem.
boy, our boy Toph Magoat says that stream schedule though.
Yeah.
That 10:04 p.m. notification that I get
I'm
at
going
like
live.
5:30 in the morning.
Dude's like, yeah, I'm gonna play tonight. And I'm like, what time? He's like, midnight. I think
Yeah.
everyone's still good to watch at midnight.
I like I don't even care if anybody really joins the stream. Like I do get a couple viewers. Like sometimes I get like 3 viewers, whatever. It's cool. And I
I
appreciate it
try to
for
catch
sure.
you. I try to catch you during the day when you're doing your day streams. But yeah, it's funny because I'll be going to bed sometimes, and I'll just I always check my phone, do my alarms, all that good stuff, and I wake up and then I see like Mr. Neverchillin's going live, and I was like,
And you're
wait.
like,
I'm like, what
what?
the hell?
Yeah,
I was like, when? I'm like,
Mr. Never
10:30.
Chillin'
It's
never
so
chills.
fucking-
Toph is on
Oh.
place like Mr. Never Chillin' is streaming Mass Effect. He's streaming Back for Blood. He never
for
chills.
for what it's worth, he lives up to the name. That man never chills.
Nah, I
All
gotta
he
get the
does is
content out
game,
for the
game,
YouTube.
game.
It's all about that YouTube content, man. I gotta keep generating.
Christmas night at midnight. Better go live. Fuck it.
Better go live. Fuck it.
Better go live.
Yeah, midnight, morning of Christmas. Here's your
Shit.
gift, everyone.
But yeah, speaking of Back for Blood, that is my co-op game that I'm still streaming with Inhuman, who comes onto the show all the time, and that's been a fun experience. Like it's like night and day difference. Like that game blows Redfall out of the water like tenfold,
Hmm.
and like Back for Blood sequel still has such a potential. Like the sequel could be so great if it's done right.
Yeah,
And it's
like
the card
Back for
system
Blood.
that's the problem. The card system is the problem. Get rid of the card system, and we're good.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
deck
and
builder mechanic is ass.
I just the game it has so much potential, but like when you play these games, the community that this game was designed for, they were looking for a game where you can push these high difficulties, and the card system fucked it. And that's what makes me so upset to see is there was such potential for this game, and like they targeted a community, that Left 4 Dead community, and they were like, but let's make it so that you have to optimize your build, but then you have to waste all this, all this time with all these things you don't want to put in your build, so then you don't really have a build, you just all your characters are the same.
But keep the 4 in there so they know it's still fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's just weird, honestly. And like it got to a point like we were playing through the last 3 missions of Act 2, and we just kept
Yeah.
getting wrecked. We just kept getting wrecked. We were like, because we were playing with 2 bots, and the bots are kind of just useless. We were like, fuck it.
Bots are dumb as
We're just
shit,
we're just gonna
dude.
turn on public lobby. We were like, we don't even know if we're gonna find anybody because this game's so old at this point. And we got a couple like randoms join in, and it just made it a little bit better. But it's even still
Mhm.
like fuck, dude. Like this game was optimized to have 4 people playing together that are talking and communicating and like
For non-computers.
right. And I was just like, okay, I get it, but it could have been better in that aspect. But overall, like the
Mhm.
story's been good. The cutscenes are fucking phenomenal. Like the game looks great. Gunplay feels great. Like it's just the card system that fucks everything up.
And I wish that like the game early on didn't have so many bugs. Like I literally got to the last boss fight and it soft locked on me and I just couldn't play the game anymore.
Mm.
That
You
was
and you and
that
soft
was
walking games, man.
Yeah, it sounds
yeah,
like
dude.
it's
I
the rig.
don't fucking get it, dude.
It gotta be
I'm
the
just-
rig.
109 games can't be wrong. At some point, it's the player.
It gotta be something going on there. But
Yeah.
to round out my list real quick is Fall Guys is my other game that I just been playing. I haven't been streaming it, but I just been hopping in
Mhm.
Fall Guys because I just need that game that I just want to hop in, just fuck around,
Turn
do
your brain
something,
off.
turn the brain off. And it was crazy, Roger. You missed it last week. This was on my list last week, and I played 2 games of it last week and won both of my games. And I was like,
There you go.
I've never did that in Fall Guys. Like I won like 1 or 2 other times before, but like the only 2 times I played, I get crowns. I was like, yeah, that's it. I'm turning it off. Not playing it no more. But then like all this week I kept playing. I kept coming in like fucking second and third, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'm getting pissed, but I was like, I gotta win. I gotta keep trying and keep playing. So it's still fun,
You know,
man.
at
It's a
some
fun
point
game.
you have to be able to win.
Yeah,
Somehow
eventually,
you have
right?
to win.
Eventually, eventually. But Roger, your last game here I want to talk about was Halls of Torment. How's that been going on for you?
Honestly, for an early access game, I found the end of it, and it's like, all right, I'm excited for more content. I wish it was like Vampire Survivors, where like when I finally got my hands on it, it was a completed game, because I got to it and I'm like, wow, there's so much potential. Like as Marshmallow had said in a previous episode, there, the items, the builds, like all this different stuff that you take into account that you don't with Vampire Survivors, and the fact that the game also plays like a Diablo game, it just felt so good, but there's not enough content.
Yeah,
So like once I got to that last level and I beat it, I was like, all right, let's go to level 4. And they were like, oh, we don't have that yet.
right. My
So
bad
like,
You
on
want
that.
level 4? Well, too bad.
yeah, I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm done playing for now.
Right. So that looks like that's all of the games that we've been playing this week. So let's move on to the upcoming game releases because I think we had a pretty solid week. All right, Roger, if you want to go ahead and kick off the list of the week here.
The list. All right, so first of all, we got Everspace 2. This is a game we've had for a while on PC, but it's finally coming to the consoles, and it's only next-gen consoles. That releases on August 15th, followed by Hammerwatch 2. Hammerwatch 2 is a three-player, top-down CRPG, if you will, but instead of it being, it's one of those classic sort of gauntlet-style games, and it's from a smaller developer. It is coming to PC on the 15th. Then we've got Moving Out 2. Moving Out 2 is sort of like Overcooked, that whole series of quick moving, games with up to 4 players. This is coming to PS5, Xbox X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 15th. Then following the last game for the 15th, we've got Wayfinder. Wayfinder is an action RPG game where you select one of many different classes in a sort of fantasy meets sci-fi with guns, swords, and magic. You fight your way through different levels, killing big swaths of enemies with your friends. I believe it's up to 4 players co-op. And that's for PS5, PS4, and PC only. So this is one of our PlayStation exclusives that is also getting a PC release. Following that, we have Stories of Blossom. Stories of Blossoms is a sort of narrative point and click adventure game that is coming out for the PC, Xbox One, and the Xbox X and S. It's a point and click sort of style adventure with it's sort of those classic, like, I don't know, flash games that you'd kind of have different items you navigate through, and you use your items to do different things, and it just seems like a very simplistic adventure. Discover a magic stories of Blossom, a whimsical point and click adventure, they call it. Next up, on August 16th, we have the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood. This comes out for the PC and Switch. Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood is a game of a witch who's been exiled for 200 years to an alternate dimension, and the game is about building a deck of tarot cards. And as you're building a deck of tarot cards to sort of do your job as a fortune teller, a witch who does fortune tellings. It's also a game sort of like Coffee Talk, in the sense that it is going to be a narrative adventure where you're doing these sort of visual novel-esque storytellings, but while building your own custom tarot deck. That's for PC and Switch. And then we have Book of Hours. Book of Hours is a PC-only game that releases on the 17th. Book of Hours is a crafting game. It's very interesting sort of game. Restore a crumbling occult library by a winter sea. Rebuild the world's foremost collection of grimoires and arcana. So the idea is you're building up this building, and you're sort of restoring this this place while also unlocking ways to build new grimoires for magic and other things. So it's sort of like a crafting game, if you will, where the whole idea is about collecting different materials and reagents to build your library of grimoires. And that comes out on August 17th. Following that, we have the Red Dead Redemption release. That's for PS4 and Switch, as well as the Undead Nightmare coming with it on the same day. So on August 17th, you'll be able to play Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare on the PS4 and Switch, followed by Shadow Gambit, The Cursed Crew. This comes out PS5, Xbox X and S, and PC on the 17th as well. Shadow Gambit is a CRPG style game, but it is a stealth game. So instead of being your normal, tabletop combat game, the game involved is a top-down stealth game where you're trying to play through pirates, through a pirate story, and with a crew of up to 4 characters that you create with each of their own abilities to sort of navigate through these different pirate outposts where you're trying to steal from other pirates, but not in a upfront sort of way like you would, storm another pirate's base. Following that, we have the Vampire Survivors official launch for the Switch. So if you do not have a PC that you can play Vampire Survivors on, but you do have a Switch, you can now get it on the 17th of August. This is a game that truly, honestly, one of the best games that we've had come out in recent times from an indie developer. Just the quality of gameplay is truly there, and I think if you have not played it, this is your chance to do so, and it's a really fun game. Next, we've got on the 18th for Switch and PC, Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. I don't know how to say other than maybe a Jet Set Radio or Crazy Taxi art style game. Very little is described about this game when visiting their official website. The trailer is literally less than 30 seconds, and it literally just shows scenes of sort of the graphics just remind me of that early Sega gameplay of Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, Hi-Fi Rush, all these games that sort of have that cartoon style animation while also having that sort of 3D to it. Now,
that is 100% Jet Set Radio Future.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
It's almost like you look at it, it's almost like a carbon copy.
And I'm like, I don't even know what the game is about. And like the literal description is Team Reptile brings you Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, 1 second per second of highly advanced funk style. It's like,
honestly,
okay.
it looks like Jet Set Radio Future, but instead of rollerblades, you just have those soap shoes.
Yeah, and it does say
in the middle of it.
I did find it here in the last sentence of the description after they just describe things. Start your own cipher and dance, paint, trick, and face off with cops and stake your claim to the extrusions and cavities of a sprawling metropolis in an alternate future set to musical brainwaves of Hideki Naganuma.
Try saying that sentence 5 times fast.
Yeah, no, I as soon as I saw the Japanese name, I was like, fuck, I'm not ready for this.
You can look at the camera one more time for that, because that is Jet Set Radio Future.
Yeah, that's honestly what it looks like, is Jet Set Radio. And the gameplay is that style too. Now, finishing out, we have two other games on the 18th. We have Madden Carbon Copy 24 coming out for the PS5, Xbox X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So NFL 24 is coming out on the 18th. And then we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That comes out on the PS5, Xbox X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC as well on the 18th of this week. What a list of games, guys.
That was a long list.
That makes up for those back-to-back weeks where we had 2 games.
But let's be honest here. What's in this list this week? It doesn't feel like there's anything.
Obviously Jet Set Radio Cyberfunk, but
honestly, I'd give it a go. I'd give it a try.
I would give it a go just because it feels like it would be so much like Jet Set Radio Future. And that was an amazing game. That was so fun. And I think it's one of those things, like, to even get something close to that and kind of get that itch scratched a little bit, I think this will scratch it.
Again,
And if it'll scratch it, it'll scratch it.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I would say
And
Madden for me is mine that I'm looking forward to this week, just because I haven't bought a Madden game in a few years, so I might just be able to pick this one up finally and be able to play a football game. I miss being able to hop into sports games, just to turn my brain off.
That's because
all right,
it should just be a live service game.
It should.
boys, I just looked at the Steam page for Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, and it is literally a Tony Hawk style game here, boys. It is. You got bikes, you've got you've skateboards, rollerblades, and the idea is just to go around. It 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 is. I don't even know anymore, dude.
Exactly, Marshmallow. I gotta get the Commanders into the Super Bowl somehow, because they sure as ain't gonna do it in real life.
Yeah, they sure as fucking gonna do it themselves.
Yeah.
That's
But the interesting one here is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like this is like one of those like 1 versus 5 or whatever kind of
Yeah.
games, and this is coming to Game Pass day one. So this game I think is going to come out hot because it's going to have a easy accessibility. It's not like a game you have to buy for most people get on PC or
Yeah.
Xbox. So that's going to be pretty big.
Especially with like we had these style games, but the problem is you have to get enough people who wanna buy into it, because the problem is if you don't have somebody who wants to buy into this game, you end up getting, sweaty players, and when somebody finally does buy into it, they've got everything and they're literally crippling you, and it's not fun to play. So like with that, low entry level for this, I think it could succeed where others fail.
so I'm looking at the Steam page for Bomb Rush, and I
Back on it.
well, you said you're like, oh, I looked at the Steam page. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, that meme where it's they show two pictures, and it has Pam from The Office says they're literally the same picture.
Yes.
It's literally the same game. They've just added bikes and shit, dude.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm playing it.
But yeah,
You're playing it.
I'm fucking playing it, dude. I'm fucking playing it. It's 100% Jet Set Radio Future. They just added a few other things. That is it. It's got the same grind mechanics. It's got the same catch mechanics for grinding. You can slide down hills. All of it.
My man, I looked at the system requirements and they're like a toaster. And I was like, cool. Like, great. That's awesome.
Minimum system requirements. Power button.
Power
and
button.
make sure your monitor is plugged in. Just make sure.
Recommended power button and 124-inch monitor. Recommended system requirements: Xbox.
Peak comedy, exactly. Nightmare.
Not Xbox One, not Xbox S, Xbox.
Xbox.
But yeah,
Indeed.
all
And
the-
a case that also comes with Sega GT with 4 GT.
So yeah, this was a long list, but nothing too crazy, honestly. So we'll see how that week plays out. Next week, I think it'll be pretty good. So enough of what's coming out. Let's talk about the upcoming and the current industry news. All right, so got to kick it off. Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard. Just a quick update. Another country has approved it. New Zealand, after I think it was like 8 circuits or 8 times in court, they finally were like, it makes sense.
Sure.
Approve it.
Yeah.
So
let's do
now
it.
it's really just down to the CMA over in the UK, and it's like, bro, just get your shit together, pass this shit. The rest of the world said, all right, it's time to move on. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. They have until October 18th, I think, to close the deal. So we still have a little bit to go.
They're probably just gonna wait till the end.
Pretty much. But outside of Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, PlayStation was in the news this week, Roger.
Yeah, so PlayStation had some interesting news here. PlayStation is getting criticized for Gran Turismo film. They are getting criticized, saying that the film is changing the timeline of events and using an incident where a real life spectator had died during these events. They're using this incident that happened to try and drive the plot, is what the rest of the world is saying. So it's pretty bad if you're going to use the death of somebody that wasn't related to this, and the fact that their death was a huge misfortune, and you're just going to use this to try and tell a better story that didn't completely happen that way, is kind of rough. Like, it just feels bad, because if this is supposed to be, a true story, now you're kind of warping that true story.
Yeah, it was really interesting when that news broke, and I was like, because I mean, going into it, like when they first announced this movie, I was like, what the fuck are they gonna make the movie about? It's a video game of a racing game. Like, there's not much story you can tell behind it.
Hmm.
And then you could clearly say it. Then they were like, oh, it's a true story, and I'm like, okay, cool, we'll see how that goes. And then they're trying to
Yeah,
warp it and just like bend the timeline to their will to make a better story out of it. And I'm like, they're reaching right now. They're reaching. Like
yeah.
this movie shouldn't even have existed, to be honest with you. But that's here nor there.
But
Yeah, it's
moving
pretty
on
fucking
with
cringy.
go ahead.
It's pretty fucking cringy.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's
Honestly,
lots of cringe.
I think the events themselves were awesome. Like, there's a lot to be said about the fact that, gaming turns into a real sport. Like, at the time when gaming wasn't a sport, to really kind of break that boundary, I think was really important to show us that we could do that. Like, these people were playing on racing sims, and it actually translated into real world skills.
Interesting
That's
concept.
I Yeah, like I thought it was it's an interesting story that not many people hear is like, oh, a professional driver actually got a start by playing Gran Turismo. Somebody from very little origins, just a dude whose father works, a back breaking job.
He said his helmet gets
Well,
in his way.
that's how it gets in the way.
It's all
But
them chromosomes.
all them chromosomes, my friend. But let's talk about PlayStation and what they're doing right now. Complaining that they're gonna have trouble with this deal. It's kind of a little far-fetched because PlayStation now achieved a new record-breaking Q1 profit of $5.36 billion in sales this year. Like, they're not hurting. They're doing really well for themselves over at PlayStation. So
Which is weird considering how
yeah,
many balls they've fucking dropped over the past year.
yeah, exactly.
Like, I
There's
mean,
just that many fanboys is why.
Hmm.
that's true. That's true. I mean, that's still an amazing number for them.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that they got that high with, I mean, some of the things that we've talked about here on this show that they have just continually
Drop the
just
ball on.
dropped. Absolutely.
And I think 600 million of that 5.36 billion was from services, so like from their PlayStation Plus. So they're making a lot of
Hmm.
money from their games, like
Well,
from
it just
wholesales.
Game Pass proved the rule is if you just do that, you're fine. All you have to do is just have a Game Pass style subscription and people will pay out the ass because it's a good deal.
Right.
It's just
And you just gotta have
better.
content for it, and that was the issue with Xbox there for a while. Is there wasn't first party
Yeah.
content there for them, but now we're starting to have a constant fucking flow. We're like, yo, Game Pass day one, Game Pass day one. It's like never ending.
And
And
like go ahead, Scobie.
I was just say like Toe said, it's because the PlayStation fans just they love licking that boot.
Yeah,
They'll do anything to not play an Xbox and be proud
but
of it.
but at the same time, look at the people who play Xbox. There are the bootlickers on both sides, but the
Oh
problem
yeah.
with Sony is they have the ability to make that wealth. Like, and I think dropping the ball on the PSN was the biggest problem they had because they were like, oh, there's going to be all this lost revenue because they were trying to be greedy. That's all this was about. They didn't want to do this service like Microsoft did because they thought they would lose money. Why would I give you our games for free off the service if I can pay, you pay $60 to $70 per copy. You think you'd lose money, but you're going to get more sales because people, as we talk about at the beginning of every episode, look at how many games we have on our fucking lists.
Right.
Like, there's just too much out there to buy all those games anymore.
Right, yeah, because I put together like a spreadsheet of like games between like now and the end of the year that I want to play, and I was just like, I'm glad like like half of them they were like coming to Game Pass day one, so like
Yeah,
that saves me a ton of fucking money. And then there's other ones that are like
exactly.
60, $70, and I'm like, do I want to play that shit day one, or do I just wait until a couple months from now and the game bombed or whatever, it's on sale, 50% off, boom, now I buy it.
Hmm.
So it's like I gotta weigh those options. Like Stray just came out for the Xbox finally, like a couple days ago, and then they were doing like a promotion where it was 20% off if you pre-order it. So I was like, I really want to play that game. That game Looked really good. I heard a lot of great
And
things. I bought it, and I have not played it yet, but it's my small game that I'm going to be playing.
I was gonna say, didn't it become like the highest selling game on Game Pass since it came out, or on Xbox since it came out?
It just broke
I remember
into
seeing
like the
something, but
top 10
yeah,
charts or something like that, like
yeah.
top sold game right now. But I was like, yeah, it makes sense. Like that game did really well over on the PlayStation. It finally came to Xbox, and it's going to do just as well. It's one of the small indie games that are going to be super successful. But yeah, Roger, you can't say it enough that there's a lot of games it's hard to pay for them. They're on fucking Game Pass or PlayStation Plus. It's saving us a
Yeah,
ton of money. We're able to play more games. So why not?
exactly right. Like, it, it's just a no-brainer anymore.
All right, Scott. So if you want to round out our industry news with some news in regards to Evo, which is actually I think owned by PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so yeah, it is, and that maybe this is part of it. But Evo, the largest fighting game tournament in the world, covers everything: Street Fighter, Dragon Ball Z, Budokai, like you name it. It's gonna be at Evo. So they were actually awarded the key to the Las Vegas Strip. Their last bout there, and August 6th is now known as Evo Day. Around the Las Vegas Strip. So, I mean, hats off to them. That's pretty awesome. I mean, the key to the Las Vegas Strip. What other key could you want?
I mean,
What
especially
other key
for
could you want?
fighting games, and Vegas is known for UFC and boxing events.
Yeah,
Now
exactly.
you're gonna
Like
have
just being
virtual
there, like
fighting events. Like
yes,
it's a no-brainer.
yes, and to bring like the video game stage up there and be like, no, it wasn't UFC, whatever the fuck this time around that got it. It wasn't. It was Evo. It was
Yeah.
the video game tournament of fighting games that
Video
got
games
the trip.
are a sport now. We're looking at the renaissance of our generation finally saying to the generations in front of us, this is what we care about. I don't care about two dudes running on a court beating the shit out of each other on a field or whatever it may be. Video games, this is what we care about, and it's not a waste of time anymore. It actually has a practical purpose. Like people who sit there and play video games, they're good for your mental health. They're good for you. There are so many good things about video games that our parents told us, oh, it'll rot your brains. No, it fucking won't.
Yeah, not at
And
all.
now we have proof that it's also a worthwhile time experience because now you're actually going to be able to make money playing video games.
Right.
I mean,
Just like a
some
professional
people
sport.
are.
You know,
Probably
some
not
people.
us.
it was really funny
Yeah.
when they broke it down. Like the older generations are like, "Oh, you're gonna sit there and watch people play video games instead of you can just play video games." And it's like, well, you watch guys play football every Sunday. Why don't you go
Yeah,
play football?
exactly. Like that's exactly what I'm getting at here. And you made the comment, well, some of us will make money playing video games. Well, yeah, some of us will also make money playing football, but not everyone can make money playing football.
Right, and honestly, like Roger, me and you have both made money from using the Twitch platform from playing video games or
Yeah.
doing this podcast.
And Gord's gonna make money on the OnlyFans.
Exactly.
That's it.
So yeah,
Got him.
so that exciting news out of Evo for sure. I'm just really excited to see the esports organization, like esports, just take off more and more. Because I mean,
Yep.
I see it on. I'm scrolling through YouTube TV, and I was like NBA Live, or what NBA 2K tournament was on, and then like League of Legends is on. I'm like, yo, this shit's lit. You just turn on to TV now, and it's just boom, video games.
There it is.
I love it.
You know, and the crazy things, you hear stories about people turning on video games inside of bars, and people just stop and just sit there and watch it.
Yeah, 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 for sure. So let's move on here to our gaming news this week. We had a little bit to get to. All right, so Scott said I'll be right back. So Roger, I'll just talk with you about our Xbox news. Kicking off here, cloud gaming. Obviously, we know how big cloud gaming is and how big it is in Xbox. Well, we're starting to see the repercussions of how big they're becoming because they have seen increased queue times, demands due to the demand surges, and some people are blaming GTA 5 because that came to Game Pass for the second time not that long ago, and that's a massive game that could
Hmm.
be part of the issue. But I've noticed it too, because remember when I told you I was like loading up like Gears of War or Master Chief Collection, I was doing that via the cloud just so I can get those like quests for the Game Pass, and it took a little bit to load. It was like, hey, there's like 4 people ahead of you, or something like that. I was like, oh, okay. I've never seen that before. Like before, it was just like
Yeah,
loaded in and I was fine. It's becoming like
And
something that people are actually using now.
yeah, like the actual and this just goes to show that it's an important part of infrastructure at this point, and Microsoft, if they want to keep, standing on their laurels here, they're going to have to reinvest into this and start investing soon.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to because, I mean, moving on here to our next topic here in regards to Starfield. Starfield was just announced that it will be playable on Samsung TVs, no console required. Don't know how the fuck this shit's going to work, whether it's through the Game Pass app or however, or like it has its own separate app that you can click onto, but
Hmm.
that's gonna be played via cloud, obviously. And if you
Hmm.
imagine how many people are going to be trying to stream Starfield via the cloud, like that's going to be super demanding for sure. Because looking at these potential numbers, someone broke it down to like how many like users there are on the Xbox console. There's 21 million. Handheld, you're looking at 3.5 million that play the Game Pass apps. Game Pass like has roughly about 25 million subscribers. Cloud-based gaming through Xbox has about a billion. PC users about 135 million gamers, and so Starfield could potentially launch onto 1.16 billion devices if every single person booted it up. Like
That's a lot of devices.
this game could be massive. Like we seen the numbers with Baldur's Gate 3, 800,000 concurrent users last week. We could be looking at a number that is like way higher than that. Like not even close. The potential's there for sure. But Roger, what's your take on Starfield running on cloud and then all of the potential it has?
Honestly, I think Starfield's launch is going to be the true test of the future for Game Pass.
Hmm.
We're going to see whether or not Microsoft can nut up and shut up. They've been so big about this Activision Blizzard merger. This is the true test of whether or not they're worthy, because if they fail this, what's going to happen when they start taking on more responsibility? Because this is their number one game launch. This is it.
Yeah.
This is their game.
Yeah, this is supposed to be the next generational game. Like this is supposed to be a game that lasts forever. I mean, look at Skyrim and Elder Scrolls. Like that game has been re-released 7,000 times. Like it's a game that just defined gaming of its generation. And Starfield could be it, the next one in line.
Hmm.
So I'm super excited for it because there's just so much shit that you can do. Like that 45-minute video that we got to see in the summer, I was like, yo, like this
There's just a
game,
lot.
there's a lot to do. You can do anything you want in that game. You don't even have to beat the game. Like if you just want to go be a pirate, go be a pirate. If you want to go collect sandwiches, go collect
Gosh.
sandwiches. Whatever you want to do. Um,
Toph, you're right. There was no planning between me and Nightmare Gore. My man out here talking about nutting up and shutting up.
that's great. But moving on to another one of the other Xbox games, big games that are going to be coming out soon is Avowed. Obsidian actually sat down and was talking about this game, and it brought some light to what this game could have been, because they did talk about how Avowed had a co-op focus early in development, and then they eventually changed it to just do the traditional Obsidian single player RPG. And I'm like, thank fucking God, because that shit didn't work for Redfall, and they weren't known for making co-op games. They were known for making single player games. And now this is the same thing over here with Obsidian. They were like, we do better with single player games. Yeah, they made
And
Grounded.
make a
That was
single player game. Like, geez.
but they made Grounded, which was a
Yeah.
co-op game, which was really good. But you think about like the Outer Worlds. That was a single player game. Enjoy that story for what it was, and I think that's what we're going to get here. They also talked about how Obsidian's version of what a fantasy first-person RPG is like. That is basically a premise of Avowed. They also said finding the right balance between taking things from Pillars of Eternity and yet creating a new game that was a more approachable for a larger audience, because this game does set in the same universe as Pillars of Eternity. But they wanted it to make it seem different enough where it could
Hmm.
differentiate as opposed to just feeling like another Pillars game. And then they also said, with Avowed, we focused on unique, bespoke content, deep systems, and incredible storytelling that focuses on characters, societies, and factions. So that's even better. This says Avowed is the natural extension of all the things we care about as a studio, of all the things we are great at. And it says Obsidian showed Avowed to Microsoft as early as part of the acquisition process. So Microsoft had to take a deep dive and, okay, what do you have in the works? All right, yeah, this is looking good. This is promising. This is what we want. This is what we need in our catalog. So,
Well, and it's easy to trust. It's easier to trust Obsidian.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, their track record
it's.
is
I mean, if Obsidian is showing you something, Obsidian says, "Hey, them's the breaks. Here's how we got to do this. Here's how it should be done." Then just shut up and take it how they give it to you, because it's Obsidian, and they're not gonna knowingly let you down and like fuck you over as a studio. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, like they've never had to me a bad game. I mean, they did Fallout
They
New
haven't.
Vegas, they did Outer Worlds. You got Outer Worlds 2, you got Pillars of Eternity, you got Grounded recently. They had Dungeon Siege, which was pretty good. They helped out with Elder Scrolls. They did that smaller game Pentiment not that long ago. That was pretty good. They helped out with Knights of the Old Republic 2. Like they have a, a long list. They helped out with Baldur's Gate at some point when they were helping out with BioWare when they made that game. So like
They've
their
had a
hands
hand
a
in
lot.
every pot, in every pot. And so when they're like, "Hey, you know what? We're not doing co-op anymore. This is gonna go single player." You best believe that game's gonna be better fucking single player.
And let's be honest here, a lot of studios are starting to take note that not every game needs fucking multiplayer anymore. Like,
Right.
we
Remember,
just
doesn't.
need those
It absolutely doesn't.
like we just need a single player experience. That's what matters.
I
Like,
remember.
look at Call of Duty when they got didn't do single player experiences.
Yeah, that was weird. They did that one game, Black Ops 4, and there was no campaign. I was like, okay, this is
Yeah, weird.
no
I
campaign.
I think my conspiracy brain's gone to where it's like, well, now that we've gotten on to like Game Pass, like more people are playing on PC, like basically like the whole online realm and multiplayer online realm is starting to become a little bit more free than it was, and you couldn't charge $10 a month, $15 a month just for online access. People are like, no, maybe we don't need multiplayer games anymore. Maybe we don't need to force them to play it.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And it's just like I remember a couple years ago they were like, "Are single player games dying?" Because like
No,
we were
nobody builds them.
right. No one wanted to build them, but like right now in 2023, we're living in one of the greatest single player game like years ever.
Oh,
That's
100%.
because we learned our lesson. Like,
No, we didn't learn shit. We didn't learn
No.
shit. We knew.
As a society. As a society.
I was over here trying to play Redfall by my damn self because I
Yeah,
didn't
you
give a
made a
fuck about
mistake.
multiplayer.
Right. Bad. That was a bad idea. I mean, co-op didn't make it any better, to be honest. But
Yeah. You can put makeup on a turd, still a piece of shit.
yeah, exactly. Next up, in regards to a Microsoft game, because QuakeCon was just the other day, and this one came out of nowhere, man. It was a rumor turned to be true. Quake 2 is back. This is some from the article from Xbox Wire. It says Quake 2 is back with a vengeance with an all-new enhanced release of id Software's legendary 1997 shooter on Xbox. Battle the monstrous Strogg and blistering fast single-player and co-op shooter action, or take your skills to the arena with online and local multiplayer. With upgraded graphics, modern updates, cross-play functionality, and so much more, there's no time to wait. The experience of Quake 2 on Game Pass, Xbox One, Series X and S, and PC. And this is great to see that this game is back. And I think that we might see a new Quake announced later this year. Would be my guess, maybe at the Game Awards, if not next
I
year.
can see, yeah.
Like if they're revitalizing an older IP, like they gotta be like trying to see if there's hype behind
Well, they
it.
got to do it right too. That's the other thing. Like, there could be hype there, but like, let's look at some of the other games we've revived recently that the hype's there. Like Left 4 Dead, we got Back for Blood.
Hmm.
The execution wasn't there.
Right.
That's what we have to hope. Like, Quake came in a time where shooters were having a renaissance. Like, they are new, they're interesting, they're enticing. And so like you could do whatever you wanted, and it was being you were being new to the genre. You were being interesting, doing something nobody else does. But now everything's been there, done that. Can we get, they can't rest on their laurels of it just being Quake. They have to still give us something good.
Right. And Quake 2 was one of the probably the best Quake, I think, from all four of them. I think there's four of them. But they also made like the Rage games, Wolfenstein, Doom. So like, and the last couple of Doom games are great. Doom, the reboot, remaster, whatever, of the OG Doom,
It's a reboot.
and then Doom Eternal was pretty good too. So it's like, I think remaking a Quake is going to be perfect.
So I think a Quake 2 remake gets me really, really like just wanting an Unreal Tournament remake.
That'd be lit.
Like I'm just like, if they're bringing back Quake 2, if they're going back to the late 90s, like early 2000s, Just give us Unreal.
In Unreal
Yeah.
Engine 5. Oh
Unreal
my God.
Tournament, dude. While we're talking about that, like that shit was so good.
So when I was in
Ah.
high school, there was a couple of us who kept reinstalling it on the school servers, and we would go into the library, into the computer lab, and we would all play Unreal Tournament on our like computer lab library time. And it kept getting removed. It just kept getting put back on. We just kept doing
But
it.
like Unreal Tournament 3, dude, all I can think about is Unreal Tournament 3, and that shit was so good.
Yeah, that
Like
was on the
it,
360, wasn't it?
yeah, and it
Yeah,
and
it was like
like what
2000.
didn't it have characters from Gears in it?
You said Unreal Tournament 3?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was like the yeah, that was the
Yeah,
it
PS3,
was
Xbox
good, dude.
360, and PC. Yep. That was developed by Epic
2007.
Games. Epic Games, man.
Epic Games 2007, November 19th. December 10th for PlayStation.
Yeah, that was
and
a
for
lot
the
of fun.
360. Man, we got to bring it back.
Bringing back memories here,
It's
man.
got to come back. It's got to. Well, they hit us with that Quake 2, like just nostalgia right up the back end. So it's like now I'm like, damn, what else
Just
was
rammed it
around
up
with
your
Quake
back
2?
end
They
is what
didn't.
you're
They
saying.
just they didn't ask. Didn't even take us out to dinner. They're just like, here's Quake 2.
Here you go. Here you
Like,
go.
well,
Thank you. Can I have some more?
at least get me some dinner or some Unreal Tournament first.
Right.
Yeah.
But enough of Xbox news. PlayStation was also in the news for their game stuff this week. Roger.
Alrighty. So talking about PlayStation here, Keith David will be taking over for the late Lance Reddick as Zavala in Destiny. So interesting choice here. I honestly like it took me a while to realize who Keith David was. Like I'm like the name's familiar, but I couldn't remember who he was. But an interesting choice, honestly.
Yeah, I thought it was perfect, honestly. Like, they both have, like, that deep, like, iconic voice. And then that transition, I think, will be pretty good.
Hmm.
And it was crazy because I'm playing through Mass Effect 3, and, whatchamacallit, David plays, Sergeant Anderson, or whatever his name is, in Mass Effect 3. And I was like, oh, cool, yeah, I'm used to hearing his voice. It's in there. Mass Effect 3's, like, voice cast is fucking loaded. Like, I was just like, yo, there's a lot of, like, really well-known actors in this shit. And, like, even, like, the one, like, side character or whatever, like, he's, like, almost irrelevant in the game. But I think he's, like, one of the characters you can choose to go with you on, like, some of the planets. And I was like, his voice sounds so familiar. And I was like, oh, shit, like, from Star Wars Rebels, Kanan Jarrus, the voice actor behind him, is in fucking Mass Effect 3. And I'm like, I have to pick him every single time because I can't not hear Kanan Jarrus now. Like, that's exactly what I hear.
I'll take things I would have never connected for 400, Alex.
Yeah.
Damn.
I
Yeah.
was like, wow. I was like, this shit's fucking lit.
Like I didn't realize who Keith David was until I took a moment and just typed his name in. He's Flame King from Adventure Time. He's, the president in Rick and Morty. He's the Arbiter. He's literally the Arbiter.
I guess he is, isn't he? Holy fuck.
Yes, that's what I like. Look, I was like, holy shit! I didn't even think about the fucking shit he does. He's everywhere.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's in fucking
The
Princess
Arbiter,
and the
dude.
Frog. He's in The Thing. He's in Pitch Black. He's in one of my favorite movie, Armageddon. Like, he has done
Yeah,
a
yep.
ton
Armageddon,
of,
yeah.
a ton of
Is
fucking
he
shit.
is he the meme of that's a penis? Hold on.
But like to address Nightmare Gore here, yeah, he's no Morgan Freeman, but like Morgan Freeman, like at some point gets a little overrated. Yeah, he's in everything, but like there are a lot of other good voice actors. Like honestly, this guy's great. Keith David is an awesome voice actor.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a great transition from the late Lance Reddick to him. It's going to be perfect. But Roger, PlayStation had an update to their services this week too.
Yes. So talking about PS Plus earlier, let's continue on the topic. PS Plus announcements for August 15th. We've got Moving Out 2, Destiny 2, The Witch Queen, Lost Judgment, Destroy All Humans 2, 2-Point Hospital Jumbo Edition, Source of Madness, Curse to Golf, Dreams, PJ Masks, Hero of the Night, Hotel Transylvania, Scaretale Adventures, Lawn Mowing Simulator, the true gem of gems, and then Spellforce 3 Reforced, and Midnight Fight Express all being added to the PlayStation catalog. Like this is honestly interesting to me. It's taken a while, but we're finally starting to see PlayStation give us a real catalog. Like
God,
they're actually adding things.
Right, and
if I had a
honestly, like,
PlayStation, I would mow so many fucking lawns.
so like some of these
These
games
kids got a mulch mode.
some of these games were just on Game Pass, and it makes sense why they were recently removed from Game Pass because they had a deal with Sony to bring it to their subscription now. So like,
Yep.
I think we'll see that a lot. Like it'll rotate. Like, oh, it's on Game Pass. Well, now it's on PS Plus. Now it's on Game Pass. Like it's gonna swing back and forth.
And I think that's an okay thing for the industry to do as well. Like I don't think it's a bad thing either, which is nice. You know,
Right.
both groups will be able to see those games at one point or another because it's going to be good for consumers because now the consumers don't have to have both subscriptions to get the full catalog of what they may or may not want to play.
Right. Just got to be patient and hope that it comes to your subscription later.
Yeah.
But the PlayStation classics are pretty interesting too this week, or coming up.
Yeah, so let's talk about the PS Plus classics. Medieval Resurrection, Ape Escape on the Loose, and
Okay.
Pursuit Force Extreme Justice. So I believe with Ape Escape, we now have the full catalog of their games on the actual subscription, like on PS Plus.
Yeah, that's fucking dope. It makes me want to go get a PS5 just to play these classics on there, since it's almost impossible to find them for this damn PS2, and they're so damn expensive when you do find them. You're like, there was the Metal Gear collection the other day at um Play and Trade, and I was just
Yeah,
like, how
you
much is
talked
that?
about that.
Like $130.
Yeah,
For Metal Gear, and I'm like, that game's not worth $130. It wasn't worth $130 when it came out. It sure as ain't worth it now.
collectors. That's it, man. That's all it is at that point is collectors, and that's why I said the one episode when I wasn't here, emulation is the sincerest form of flattery. You want to play, you want to play that
Right.
shit. You ain't gonna pay $150 for it.
No, not at all.
I would never pay $150
If
for
you
an old
gave me a
PlayStation.
legal way to play it that wasn't me actually having to, take a second mortgage out on my house, then sure.
Well, that's why Nintendo was so smart with the emulation releases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were so smart with that because they know their audience. They know that people want to play those games.
It's crazy. Like
It's a
Nintendo
very
is the
fucking
first one
easy
to do
thing
this.
Or well, or at the very least, backwards compatibility should have always been a thing.
Yeah, Xbox
Like
has been on the
it should have
forefront of
always
that.
been a thing.
You can literally play
And-
every generation of Xbox on the Xbox Series X right now.
Yeah, which is fantastic. I remember when the first Xbox One came out, you couldn't, which is another reason I have like 4 copies of Skyrim, but just for the Xbox. But whatever.
Right.
Todd Howard owes me a Christmas card, but
He
that's
owes
how
you
it
some
should.
socks.
He owes me something. He owes me something, and it sure is fucking Starfield. I take that back. Starfield's gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
I'm super
I can't.
excited.
I can't say that with a straight face. Starfield's gonna be fucking awesome. But no, that should have been a thing to begin with, because you shouldn't be paying $150 for a fucking PlayStation Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah, it's not worth it. And what's up
Now-
right here with the August 29th?
And then on August 29th, we're starting to see PlayStation do what Microsoft is doing, day one experiences. So on day one, we're going to be getting a new indie game here, Sea of Stars, a retro-inspired turn-based RPG, which honestly, that's my jam, dude. And I'm going to get it day one on PSN, on PS Plus. Like this is awesome. Like PlayStation is starting to take notes. Like Microsoft has been doing this right this whole time. Like it's just it's baffling that it has taken this long to get there.
Slowly but surely.
Once again, just balls that they've dropped and still somehow hit $5.36 billion in revenue in Q1.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what they do now that they actually do day one releases.
Yeah, exactly. Like let's see some more stuff here hit right away.
Yeah.
But moving on, let's talk about an interesting hardware development. So 8-bit Do, 8-bit Do is a device that will allow you to play PS1 and PS2 with your PS5 DualSense and other controllers. So if you still have a PlayStation 1 and a PlayStation 2 and you're hard up to find a controller for those consoles, there is now a 8-bit Do device that will allow you to use pretty much any modern controller to play on your on your PS1 and PS2, which honestly, across all the devices, let's be honest here, most of the controllers are the same. We've got 2 analog sticks,
Yep.
a D-pad, 4 buttons, and you've got
Like
2 triggers and 2 bumpers.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like the DualShock 4, DualSense and DualSense Edge, Xbox wireless controller, the Xbox Elite Series 2 and Core, the Xbox adaptive controller, the Wii U Pro and Switch controllers, as well as the ultimate, like they have a bunch of different options here, but the 8-bit Do Ultimate Bluetooth Pro 2 will allow you to use all of these things for only $25 on your PS1 and PS2, which is crazy.
I was thinking about
Crazy.
doing
That's
it
fucking awesome.
because I hate this goddamn plastic piece of shit old controller from the PS2 days. I was like, if I can just get this
It's
adapter
small.
and then be able to use my Xbox controller on it, like that's lit. I don't even care.
Yeah.
You gotta pull a Happy Gilmore, man. You gotta play that ball as it lies.
Yeah,
You play with that old
exactly.
controller. That's how you get that
And
experience.
to get the experience,
That's
the
how you get
retro
that shit.
experience.
Those shits were durable too. Them shits got thrown all over the
Yes,
place.
the
I've
actual
thrown many a
controller, the
controller.
actual DualShock. This is just some cheapo knockoff.
Yes.
The triple shock is the hitting the floors gonna be
triple
pretty hard.
shock.
too.
Triple shock. Oh man, so that's all the PlayStation news. And Scott, normally you talk about Nintendo news, but there's nothing really Nintendo, but it's more like Pokemon news this week.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's kind of like Nintendo and Pokemon have been synonymous for, I don't know,
Years.
Forever.
So instead of going Nintendo this time, we're going with Pokemon Presents because we have a lot of stuff to cover from Pokemon. So just gonna start hitting it right out of the gate here. Pokemon Path to the Peak is a new animated series focused on the trading card game. I'm getting Yu-Gi-Oh vibes, Duelist
Basically.
Kingdom sort of shit. Coming out of here with the Pokemon trading card game, trying to see how that goes.
And it was crazy
Another
that we were
huge-
just talking about that with me playing the video game version.
yeah,
of
you
NC
were just
State.
saying that you were playing that, and I'm just like, damn, like trading card game coming back, love it.
I was
If
living
you
the
guys-
anime already. I was ahead
Yeah.
of the game.
Yeah, if you
I am
guys
the
want,
anime.
if you guys want your holographic Charizard, just go buy it at Target for $3.99. It comes with 4 of them. But moving on from that, another huge return is going to be Detective Pikachu. It got a new trailer. I don't know if you guys saw the first one, that kind of little pet project from Ryan Reynolds. Man, that was fucking good. It was just fun. It was good. It had a cool little storyline. Nothing too like far fetched. I mean, it's fucking Pokemon, but like seeing them there
Well, this is the
in
video game.
quote unquote
by the
real
way.
life, but like yeah, exactly. Coming out of here with the Pokemon, with the Detective Pikachu game. Sorry, coming out of that. Sorry, I just got really into Detective Pikachu for
I
a
know
minute.
he
Give
was
me a
like Ryan
second
Reynolds.
here.
I was like, I don't think he was.
I'm
in the
not
video
trying to
game.
kiss Ryan Reynolds. Stop saying that. All right, stop. I've told you 4 times I didn't want to kiss him. Stop making that happen. God.
Call me.
But moving on, Pokemon Horizons, the series. There's no release date yet, but it says they are coming soon. But we do know that it would be set in the Paldea region, so that should be fun. Pokemon Go is getting Paldea region monsters next month. So
Give
I
you a
just
reason
have
to continue to play.
Yeah.
And check in and get that.
yeah,
7
because
weekly
yeah, the
streaks.
Paldea region is gonna do that for me. But the Pokemon trading card game and Pokemon Stadium 2 are available now on Nintendo Switch Online, which we already could have guessed,
Yeah.
because who else? Our boy Vic over here is playing those. Mew and Mewtwo are coming to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. You can get Mew right now until September 18th just by entering Get Your Mew in the mystery gift item menu. That is
Hey,
all
Roger,
caps.
go pick up your Switch. I know you got.
Go grab them. Go grab them. Let's do it. Mewtwo will be available via Terra Raid. The Terra Raid coming September 1st.
That's cool.
And I read that as Terra Raid, and I was like, what? But Terra Raid coming September 1st.
How are the Terra raids, Roger? Have you participated in any of them?
Yeah, I played a bunch with Disney when we first had the game, and honestly, it's the same raid mechanic that we saw. No, Terra as like in the Earth Terra, Tera.
Well, that's why I
Terra
said I
Raid.
read it as Terra Reid, because there was only one R in here, and Terra has 2, and I was like, Terra Reid is in this game? I'm like,
But the idea with the Terra Raid is it's the same thing we had in
Pokemon Go.
in Sword and Shield. It's the same concept as Pokemon Go, where a bunch of people are fighting a big monster. But instead of being like, everyone and their mom out there fighting this, you're actually just fighting with 4 people, you and 3 others, and it's just a boss battle pretty much. Yeah,
Okay.
it's literally Gen 6
Yeah,
rebranded.
that's what Toph said. Yeah, it's Gen 6 rebranded. Boo. But moving on, Pokemon Paldean Winds, a new animated web series is coming September 8th. And then after that, we've got Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's first downloadable content arrives next month. The Teal Mask will be arriving on September 13th.
Seems like September going to be a big Pokemon month, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge for Pokemon. Hopefully, that's what they need to last for another 2 months until they release four new games.
4 new games.
With the Nega Alolan.
Yeah, we're gonna get Pokemon Go
Struggling
2.
there, bud.
Oh man, so yeah, Pokemon had a pretty big event this week, so that was pretty awesome to see all of that. Not a lot of it is gaming centric, but it's all tied in together.
Well, I mean, they make just the whole universe. This has been for a really long time, just one really big cohesive brand.
Yeah.
Like all over the place, it has been ever since. I mean,
Well, especially now that that they're moving on from Ash's story. Now they can branch off and just kind of do anything and everything.
Yeah, because our boy finally got his.
Yeah, he finally collected them all. Got the 8 badges, won the
Yeah, he
league.
finally became the Pokemon League champion in the same exact way he lost. By the way, in the first one, if anybody caught that, because his Charizard got beaten by a Pikachu, by Sparky.
By Sparky. Memories. That's great. But Pokemon wasn't the only event this week. THQ Nordic showcase happened. I actually low-key forgot about it. And Roger, if it wasn't for you dropping the video trailer for South Park's new game called Snow Day, I would have probably would have completely forgotten about it. But I'm just gonna run through everything that they was announced at the showcase. You got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin video game was officially announced, but I'm pretty sure this was already announced because Roger, I think me and you talked about this a while ago when this game was revealed. But then we do have South Park Snow Day. It's a new 3D game coming next year. Gothic 1 remake got a new trailer.
Well, and the South Park game, we were talking about how co-op games aren't the future. Give us single player experiences. South Park has decided to do the opposite. Take their single player experience and make it a co-op game.
Yeah.
Well, they've been doing single player for so long. I remember playing South Park on the N64. That shit was fun.
I feel like a co-op South Park game makes sense though.
I would 100. I will 100% be down for that if you can move it prior to 10 p.m. on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll see what I can do with the schedule. But we also got Titan Quest 2 was officially announced. Alone in the Dark got a new trailer focused on the 2 playable characters. Then you got Last Train Home's latest trailer focuses on gameplay, which is always nice. Outcast: A New Beginning got a new trailer. Space for Sale is getting a closed beta, so I'm pretty sure you can sign up for that. Tempest Rising gets a new action-packed trailer. Trine 5: A Clockwork Conspiracies. New gameplay trailer focuses on multiplayer, so here we go. We're getting out of the single-player realm again. Way of the Hunter, Tikamoon Plains latest trailer showcases the various in-game locations, and Recreation receives a new trailer. So THQ was pretty busy announcing a bunch of new stuff. So do any of these games or announcements got any of you guys excited?
It's gotta be South Park, man. For
South
me.
Park, honestly, I love the Stick of Truth.
Yeah, the Stick of Truth, Phone Destroyer, and just the original.
Fraction Butthole?
Honestly, the fact that they release a game where the difficulty slider is the color of your skin was the biggest hot take I think I've ever seen. That was fucked, dude.
They're the only people that can get away with that. It's amazing. Yeah. Like choose your difficulty level and you just get predominantly like damn. Like you know what? But where was the lie? Fuck.
The game that I'm most excited for has got to be that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle: The Last Ronin game, just because the comic I heard was really good. They just announced the new comic in that series, and that seems like a pretty badass story to tell. Like all the other turtles were wiped out. There's only one left. Not gonna spoil it who it is, and they're just out on a like fucking vengeance, revenge
Yep.
story. You're like, I need to go fucking kill these bastards for killing my family. And I'm just like, that kind of game could go dark. This could be like the opposite of all the other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games we've been getting, with colorful, bright, happy color. No, we're gonna get that shit's gonna be dark. We might
Yeah,
get
it's gonna
Dark
be
Souls, but with
it's
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
it's gonna be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arkham Knight,
Yeah,
like for sure, like
vengeance.
100%. Yeah, I have vengeance.
Oh shit! So yeah, like I said, THQ was busy there. So, but moving on to another dark game, Scott. If you want to talk about what was going on with Remnant 2, because some people are not happy.
Only good things. Only good things coming out of Remnant 2. So a lot of people have been really, really mad about the difficulty level on hardcore. They've just been really upset. It's too hard. They say this is bad. Like nobody can play the game because we all keep dying. And the devs responded, "Get fucking good. It's called Apocalypse for a reason. I will not be taking any further questions." Like that is it. That is it's the same energy as Diablo 4 devs going, well, don't go into the fucking fields of hatred. You don't want to be destroyed in PvP in the fields of hatred? Don't go to a place called Fields of Hatred. Like get fucking good. Like you can't put it on the most difficult setting and just
And
expect
then
it to be a
complain it's
breeze.
too hard.
And then complain it's too fucking hard.
Yeah, just lower the
Like
difficulty.
that's
You're just not that good
yeah.
then.
Can I get a burger with extra mayonnaise, please? There's way too much fucking mayonnaise on this burger.
Yeah. Right?
Like, get out of here. Get out of here. Like it's called Apocalypse. Like what did you expect was gonna happen? What did you think was gonna happen?
The way that Scott can just go think of fucking comparisons of how to describe
man.
something,
My man dropped that, and I was like, wow.
it just
Like,
works.
what else can you say? It's called fucking Apocalypse. It's gonna hurt.
It's not all mayonnaise.
If you don't want to get hurt, don't fucking play Apocalypse. That's it. It's very easy to not play that version. Like, don't play that difficulty setting if it's gonna be too fucking hard for you.
It's a secret sauce, the spud butter.
Yeah, yeah. The secret sauce caught only on Nightmare Gore's OnlyFans, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
On
Shout
his
out.
nut.
On our co-op stream that we did at 11 p.m.
Onlyfans.com/thermos.
You guys are on fire tonight. So
Well,
Roger,
it's because Crumb Dumpster was taken. So.
Dumpster was taken.
so Roger, if you want to move on to our next topic here with EA.
Oh shit. Yeah, all right. Let's talk about EA here. So EA is closing servers for Crysis 3 on September 7th and Dead Space 2 and Dante's Inferno on December 8th. So we're starting to see these old multiplayer servers go away, and honestly, I'm surprised they're still up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then, because in that article, though, they were talking about, like, Crisis 1, 2, and 3, they were remastered, but, like, when they were remastered or remade or whatever, they were only the single-player components, so, like, they didn't even remake the multiplayer because they knew this wasn't going to, it wasn't worth the resources at all to invest into that.
Yep.
That's why I was surprised to find out that the OG's one was still operational. I was like, people still play Crisis 3 multiplayer?
Well, honestly, it's one of the greatest games of all time. So I can see why people are still playing Crisis 3. Like, when you talk about, like, can it run Doom? The next question is, then can it run Crisis 3?
Yeah. Each Crisis per, like, it used to burn everybody's PCs, no matter which one it was. Crisis 1 was even way too...
And then we got Cyberpunk, so...
Yeah, that's the new Crisis for sure. But another developer was in this week's news with Rockstar, because I was excited to talk about this one. I didn't chime into it earlier with the game releases here, though, but go ahead with that.
So, like, we got shadow dropped that within a week, Rockstar is going to be releasing Red Dead Redemption on the PS4 and Nintendo Switch. You know, they announced it, and a week later it's coming. And they'll include the #1 DLC, as I talked about earlier. We're going to see Undead Nightmare Day 1. It will not include multiplayer, though. That's the problem. So...
That's part of the problem.
Yeah, like, part of the problem, yes. and it will not have 4K support.
That's the other
And
problem.
the game is priced at $50 for a digital-only version. Physical version coming October 13th. That's
Mind blown.
crazy, dude.
Yeah,
That is
this
nuts.
was harsh, dude. Like really harsh.
I would love to talk shit about $50 for digital only, but I spent like 100 on fucking Diablo, and I can't hold that shit in my hands.
It's
Yeah.
not even that.
But
Though.
at least it's a new game.
Right, it's a
Yeah.
new game.
Yeah, this is where the no 4K and the $50 price tag.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up if you think about it, because like Xbox, you can buy the $10-$20 copy from the 360, and you automatically get the enhanced version with 4K graphics running at 120 hertz, just because like it has the auto HDR, the FPS boost, like it. Xbox just did it right, and I'm just like, why did Rockstar go back and like, we're gonna make a PS4 version of this game
Yeah,
and a
and not
Switch
to
version?
mention that it's just is Rockstar becoming the new Blizzard, Activision Blizzard? Because that's what it feels like to me, dude. Like, I hate
That
to
was a
be this
really
way, but
grimy move. Like everyone was
it's
expecting a
fucking scummy.
Red Dead Redemption remaster, like remake from the ground up, and this is what we got. We got a port that wasn't even made by Rockstar. They outsourced it. Like they were lazy. They're gonna come up with a ton of money, and this was just bad PR. Aye, aye, aye. So, but you just talked about Activision Blizzard, and we're talking about two of their
Let's talk
games.
about the dumpster fire.
Yeah, both of the dumpster fires right now that they got going on over there. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3 has officially been released, or not released, Jesus, announced. It's here, guys. Shadow dropped. No,
Shadow dropped. Woo!
no, November 10th is the official release date for Modern Warfare 3, and just some more news. Like it's a $70 game. Like this is not like no DLC. This is not an expansion of Modern Warfare 2. It's just the full premium game that they said they weren't releasing, but now they're releasing. So they lied to us from the beginning. Here we are.
You mean like
What?
they did with everything else?
Yeah. So
Activision Blizzard lied?
it's
I
just.
don't believe
I just still
I don't
find it
believe you.
really weird and grimy that they're really just going the easy way out. They're like Modern Warfare 2 came out last year, Modern Warfare 3 this year. Like in between Modern Warfare 2 and 3, the last time was like 3-4 years, and it's just weird.
It's gonna be Call of Duty 2K25.
All
Give it a
of
year.
Duty, my friend. Call it what it is.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, slide canceling's coming back," and I'm like, "Well, that was part of the reason why I didn't like Call of Duty last year, and the year before that, because of the slide canceling shit. So now you took it away and then pissed people off, and now you want it back. Like it's terrible, dude. Um, it's just they're never going to get this shit right ever again. I think we're past that for sure. But on to the other dumpster fire they have going on. Roger, you're going to return to Overwatch 2 because Invasion has launched on August 10th. So now you'll be able to play the all
Nah.
new Invasion story missions, the new support hero, new permanent game mode called Flashpoint, and there's so much more. Are you returning?
No, I told you already. I'm done with that shit. That dumpster fires that because you have to pay for it. It doesn't come free. You literally have to buy a separate battle pass that includes it.
Yeah, that's weird. Like Call of Duty gives you all of their content for free now. Why do you got to pay for it in Overwatch? I'm not following their mindset here.
Activision Blizzard. Easy. 2 words. Activision Blizzard.
We like money.
Money are us.
Yeah, so too bad PR
Congrats to their
moves.
congrats to their new CEO, Mr. Krabs, for just really getting them fucking paid. Let's
Got 'em.
go.
Oh man. So, but let's move on here to this was at Evo this past week along with announcements. Street Fighter 6 was there.
Yeah, and so they've been there. They obviously had a great showing at Evo. A lot of people are still loving this game, and what they did is they've put out some TMNT content. And actually, somebody did the math. It's gonna be about $100 to unlock all the TMNT content coming out of there. But
So
moving
fucking
on, we
gross.
have yeah, it's talking about money. I
Talking
tried
about
to stay
scummy.
away. I'm like, well, you figure there's 4 turtles. Maybe they give you Master Splinter. Maybe you get April O'Neil,
maybe you gotta like get piece by
or you
piece
get
to
Jason.
get Master
Uh,
Splinter from each of them.
Yeah, and
They're
you
treated
know,
like
you get
Exodius
Splinter,
from Yu-Gi-Oh.
you get Splinter, you get Shredder. Maybe you get a random Foot Clan member. Who knows? Anything. Sky's the limits for $100.
Yeah.
But that's gotta be the price tag if you want all of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles content. But moving on, so they have a new warrior being added. That's going to be Aki, AKI. Don't know if Aki. I've never really been familiar with this character. AKI is just how it's being pronounced. I would say Aki, but that was the reveal at EVO 2023. But what they also gave us was a Street Fighter 6 character roadmap. It takes us all the way into winter 2024. And so starting here, we had Rashid, the beast from the Middle East.
Yes.
As we affectionately referred to him as. And then now coming into
what did
autumn,
the article call it? It was like some Arab.
the
canceled today.
Yeah, I know.
Nice
it was
I was
the-
trying.
it was-
you know?
I think it was the Agile Arab
Yeah,
or something like that. But yeah, so Rashid came in summer 2023. We're heading into the autumn 2023 with AKI Aki, and we got spring 2024 with Goki, and then we got winter 2024 with Ed, making a comeback into Street Fighter.
Just a fun
Winter
fact.
2024 will be before spring 2024 because winter 2024 is January.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, so that's going to be January then?
Sometime between.
It's not going to be end of 2024?
January or February, most likely. I don't think it'll come this 2023, but for them to jump to winter of next year, I think is a little too far for it because it's all the fighters for year one. These are the year one DLC fighters, so it has to be done this winter. So it'll be probably done when the new year starts.
Makes sense.
More to follow.
Yeah, fun fact though
More to
about
follow.
Aki or AKI. Apparently AKI in Japanese means autumn. So, fun fact.
Wow.
There.
There it is.
That's pretty cool.
There it is. That's too easy right there.
Yeah, no brainer, right? So, yeah, Street Fighter 6, that was awesome. To see that they were at the EVO, obviously makes sense, and they had some big announcements there.
Just getting handed keys.
But, you know, Fortnite's in the news every week, so, you know, we talked about it. You could play Uno, you could play Monopoly. Well, now, you could play poker. I don't know what kind of poker we're talking about here, but, it's there. You can play poker.
Fortnite's latest collab with Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because like obviously there's a big issue with like gambling and stuff like that. So like, you can only imagine the issues that this could potentially cause.
Could.
Yeah, it might already have happened. But enough Fortnite news. That was just the quick hit Fortnite news. But Square Enix is in the news. Has it been for the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, so Square Enix, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis announced to be releasing on the iOS and Android on September 7th. And there will be pre-registration now through the beginning of the game. The Square Enix is offering bonuses to the players who sign up, and several of which have already been achieved for these bonuses. So based on how many players sign up, there will be more bonuses. The most recent saw 1 million pre-registrations, which mean players will receive 5 weapon draw gacha tickets when the game releases.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool how they can incorporate that kind of stuff with it.
Well, I mean, it's just so simple. Like anyone can do it. It's just,
Right.
I think it's just a little silly that they're trying to see if they can get everyone to come together for a game that nobody's even tried to play yet. So,
Right. They're trying to bank on the whole Final Fantasy VII time frame of the universe. You know, that's all that is. But Scott, if you want to round out our gaming news with your favorite game of the week.
Hey man, my favorite game of the month, maybe even the year. But Baldur's Gate 3, we got some great stats coming out. It is now 2023's Metascore's best reviewed game according to Metacritic. Well, sorry. According to Metacritic, it is the biggest game now, beating Tears of the Kingdom by 1 whole point. So this has a 97 out of 100. Tears of the Kingdom had a 96, but this also comes up with a 9.3 user rating. Due to that, there has been some, we've talked about it before, Vic, we've talked about it here with Roger as well, review bombing. People have gotten in and they've started just dropping zeros to try to balance it out as if they should be balancing it out other than just playing the goddamn game. So It's also beaten Skyrim and Fallout as the biggest RPG launch on Steam, and it has over, I want to say, 3.5 times the concurrent players of the next biggest CRPG on Steam, which is Dota. This has about 800 and I think 17,000 concurrent players, whereas Dota had I think 224-ish, give or take 1,000. And that was as of about 5 days ago. But the most important stat that we've really been able to come out of here with for Baldur's Gate 3 is Scratch, the abandoned dog, has been pet over 750,000 times as of 2 days ago.
Nice dog.
I know that I am responsible for at least 15,000 of them, because I came across Scratch, obviously petted him, did my whole animal husbandry sort of thing, and then had him come back to my camp, and then immediately stole all of the shit off of his dead owner. that was my interaction with Scratch. But he's at my camp now. Every time I see him, I pet him. He's the virtual goodest boy. But yeah, lots of things coming out of Baldur's Gate 3. But yeah, it's up there. We didn't think that Tears of the Kingdom was really gonna have we knew it was gonna have some games that kind of got close to it, but we didn't have really an idea that something like this was just gonna take over within a week.
Yeah, if that.
If that. I mean, this game has been so well received, and that's actually led to a lot of, not backlash, but to a lot of discussion from a lot of other developers where they've said, "Hey, this game is not the new standard. This game is an anomaly." Now, of course, initially I'm like, "What do you mean it's not the new standard?" They released a full finished game. We paid one price. Any new cosmetics, armor, anything like that, you have to earn in game. This is what we've wanted from the beginning. This is what we used to get, and then you guys took that from us.
Yeah,
and now we have to pay for it. That is
Valerian Studios even announced that like they're not doing any DLC for this because how leveling works in a tabletop RPG makes it really difficult to do those sort of things.
Exactly.
And so they're like, this is the game, full from beginning to end. We're done here. And the whole industry's like, well, you can't do that. That's illegal. And they're like,
no,
it isn't.
They're like, wait, get on the ground. That's illegal. You can't do that.
Yep.
The rest of the industry is like, wait, are we the baddies?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you are kind of until you start looking a little bit more deeper. When you start realizing like Larian has like 400 developers.
Yeah.
Skyrim had 100.
Yeah.
Like that was like so there's some merit to this is an anomaly, not in the sense of getting a full game, but getting something like this good, this polished right out of the gate with 400 people. It's a lot easier. But with that said, this is the new standard.
Right.
The
crazy part
is
like
what we're looking for.
The year's not over either though. We got
Get good.
We got Starfield and Spider-Man 2 still coming out.
Armored Core's next week, dude.
Armored Core's coming out next week.
Next week.
Yeah. This is like
I just don't know. This has been an insane year so far. Yeah. Just because of this is going to be probably one of the biggest years for Game of the Year.
It's going to be
just because it's going to be the hardest because there has been so many good games coming out and everyone we all thought it. Tears of the Kingdom, Game of the Year. This game is phenomenal. This game's amazing. It's perfect. Baldur's Gate comes out and says, "Hold on, check this out." And then now we have Armored Core next week, and we have Spider-Man 2. We have so much stuff coming out still. And we got about 4 months left in this year.
Right. I mean,
to see what's going on.
We also had Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4 remake, Diablo 4, like. It's been crazy ass fucking year.
And what's crazy is like Baldur's Gate doesn't pull punches. Like Nightmare Gore's right. You literally fuck a bear if you want. You can fuck a druid, and And one of the opening things you do is when you're in character creation, they say how big you want your dick, and you're like, yes.
Yeah,
Like,
they
hey,
pulled a page from Cyberpunk when you
that's
can choose
that's
such shit.
that's the number one question. Like, oh,
And
what'd you go
is
with?
in
Like,
cutscenes. It's
it-
actually used in the game. Like, cool.
you're just sitting there like that thing just thangin'.
Nah, that thing is this thing.
Like that thing just thangin', because it's like sitting there. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a Lothsworn Drow sorcerer. And it's like, oh cool. Which one did you pick?
Right.
What do you mean?
I agree with you,
Which-
Toph. I beat Jedi Survivor. I gave it a 10 out of 10, and it's up there for Game of the Year for me. And I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, so I might be a bit biased.
He's not into Star Wars, and I know he loved that game.
Yeah, so that gotta mean something.
So it's gonna be a hell of a year for Game of the Year. Whoever
Wait.
I think
Whoever has to
Scobie,
pick that shit.
are you not looking at the shelf behind him? Like, it's hard to make that lie when you look
How
at
am
Vic's
I-
shelf and you're like,
I'm
he's
not
got
a
an
Star Wars-
entire one and then some more.
no, I was saying Toph is not.
Oh, I was gonna say,
yeah,
if you were
Toph
saying
is
about
fun.
Vic, I was like, look at behind him.
No, Toph. I've known Toph forever. Toph and I's friendship is old enough to drink. I know he's not that big of a Star Wars fan. He still loved this game. So this is gonna be like a huge Game of the Year. Like whoever wins this is just honestly just it's got to be a game of the decade at that point, like an honorable mention or something like that. Because if you come out of this year on top, you had
the game.
one of the most perfect games to probably ever exist.
Honestly, this year is going to be a tough competition, but there are other games that came out recently, but it definitely is running for, I would give it a game of the century, not game of the century, game of the decade here. Like it definitely can compete against, like, the games we get this year are on par with things like It Takes Two, games that deserved game of the year. It's on par with some of them.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're only just now entering the season of games.
Right.
Game of the century goes to the Halo series, but that's because Halo series is the only series they can say you're welcome to the rest of the gaming industry.
Pretty much. But that's all of our gaming news. Let's move on here to our leaks and rumors of the week.
Oh, I fucking hate chat.
Chat's been on fire tonight. I love it. So, just gonna kick it off with Xbox leaks this week. Apparently, they have an Xbox Series X in the work where it's digital only, and I'm just like, okay, like it makes sense, but don't make sense. It's in a weird spot, It's basically a Series S, but just a little bit more powerful. That's it. What you guys takes on all digital Series X?
I hate paying money for things that I can't have in my hand.
I think we can just call it the Xbox Series Game Pass.
Yeah, the Xbox PC.
Yeah,
The Game Pass Series X.
the Xbox GP, the Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all it is. All it is just it's your newest Xfinity streaming device.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Your game streaming device. Xbox as a service. There you go.
Yeah. So, to round out our leaks and rumors, though, Roger, with Gearbox.
Yeah, so we may be getting like a shadow drop game from Gearbox here.
That's what it sounds like.
Due to a leaked resume from one of the people at Gearbox Entertainment, we may be getting the next Borderlands game this year. Actually, it may just be coming at the end of the year, and we just don't know it yet.
I'm almost thinking we might get this shit at opening night live at the end of the month here, with Jeff Keighley's show at Gamescom.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
He might just be like, "Hey guys, here's Gearbox."
Yeah, he's like, and one more thing, Gearbox presents Borderlands 4.
Well, it's gonna be like the GTA 6 drop. It's like, oh, we're really here and we're really happy to announce this new game and all that good stuff, and then just
From a small indie
Damn.
studio.
Gearbox, Borderlands. Like, man, I still get chills thinking about that freaking the GTA 6 release. I can't wait to see what they do when they inevitably release Borderlands 4 here.
You
at
must be
the
talking
end
about
of the month.
GTA 5 or 4. 6 ain't out yet.
No, they not the release, when they announced it.
Oh, okay. Well,
When they
announced it.
when they released the announcement.
Yeah, when it was leaked, I think.
That one.
Accidental announcement. But yeah, man, that's all of our leaks, news, rumors, all that shebang this week. So, Roger, we want to thank the audience this week who checked us out live, but where can everyone find you at?
Well, it's been a while. I haven't been streaming, but maybe I'll be back here soon. You can catch me at twitch.tv/lunatic_oblivion.
And what about you, Scott?
Well, as always, you can find me here almost every Sunday. But if you're not looking for me on Sunday, you can find me on twitch.tv/Scobie1, where we do our co-stream of Exoprimal on Sundays. We might be doing it here, I believe so, looking at the crowd. But if you want to get a hold of me on Discord, my name is just Scobie1 there. Or if you want to go ahead and get with me on some games, my BattleNet is Scobie1, and my numbers are 11780. Or if you just want to go ahead and get a hold of me, talk to me my personal life, or just kind of see what I'm up to, my Instagram is Scobie1.
And of course, everyone, you can check me over at Twitter. I mean X at Mr. Never Chillin _. Threads is Mr. Never Chillin. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. Facebook is Vic Brubacher for any questions, concerns. If you want to come on the show, hit me up there. And I stream over on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin, where I'm currently streaming Mass Effect 3 and Back for Blood, and soon to be streaming Stray. So definitely come through to that, and we'll be streaming some Exoprimal tonight. So come through on that. But we want to thank everyone again. But until next time, peace.
Press start podcast.